In this particular video, we're going to talk about how to take what you've learned in videos 1, 2, 3, and 4 and putting it all together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this video into two different parts. In the first part, I'm going to show you how to edit using Camtasia, and if you want to get all fancy, you can use something like Adobe Premiere Elements or another video editing software. Now, I'm not going to open up something complex like Adobe Premiere simply because it's a lot more expensive. You're going to have to dish out about $1,000 for that. And for Camtasia Studio, it's only about $299. It's very, very worth your while. And if you want to do all the fancy visual effects, I would recommend something like Adobe Premiere Elements, which is like the downgraded version of Adobe Premiere. Okay, so right now you're looking at a list. And the reason why I have this list is because they're going to be like tracks. The first track you're going to have is the audio voiceover track. And the second track you're going to have is the music soundtrack. And in the visual elements, you're going to have things like visual video clips, pictures, and video effects. And the text is actually part of the visual part too, and so are the transitions. So the only two audio tracks are the voiceover track and the soundtrack. And if you put any sound effects as well. So now that you understand there are tracks, let me go ahead and open up Camtasia Studio here. So you're looking at Camtasia Studio, and the nice thing about Camtasia is you have many different tracks, as you can see here. Whatever you do, like when you record a video, it's going to end up on your video 1 and video audio 1 track, as you can see here. But for the newest version of Camtasia Studio, which is Camtasia Studio version 6.02, you can add more tracks. So you can add audio 1, audio 2, and audio 3 tracks for audio. Now the only downside is the video. You only have one video track. So if you add things like pictures and effects and things like that, you're not going to be able to intertwine that with it. And that's why I want to show you with Camtasia. It's good for mixing in sound, preferably, because Adobe Premiere Elements doesn't really have a feature for that. Let me show you what I mean by that. If I import media and I find, let's say, let's look at this custom sales video. I have a 30-second clip right here. You can import that, and this is going to be the soundtrack. And then I can import a voiceover clip where I'm talking at like so, and I want to insert this to the timeline. What that is going to do is it's going to insert to audio 2, and since I only have two soundtracks, voiceover and the musical soundtrack, I can insert this into audio 3. And I want to make sure that they're lined up correctly. One thing you need to make sure is that the voiceover is louder than the actual music. You don't want to make it so that the music is louder than the voiceover, because you're not going to be able to hear it. So if you want to edit this track and not edit this track, you want to click this lock, and then you can of course decrease the volume. And once you figure out the suitable position, generally you want to have the musical soundtrack come in for a few seconds, and then you want to have the voiceover come in. And then the soundtrack should continue on in a little bit and then end. So basically the soundtrack should begin and end. Now this is only in relation to the audio part. The visual part needs to go up here. But like I said, if you have more than pictures, video clips, and all these other things, you might want to use something like Adobe Premiere Elements. But if you only have one video clip or one visual element, then Camtasia Studio can work just as good. You just need to keep in mind that you import the clip and put it up here, and then you can put like a clip here like that, like so. Now I'm not going to go into depth about this because while I do use Camtasia to create some of my promotional videos, I use Adobe Elements a lot more. So I'm going to close this down. Okay, so in part 2, I'm going to show you how to edit and create a promotional video by using Adobe Premiere Elements. So right now I'm looking at my laptop here, and I'm going to find an example of a custom sales video that I have created so that you can see it in action. So let's see here. I'm going to look under the Marketing Roadmap Success video product. I created a custom sales video for that one. This one took a few days, but it is worth it in the long run. But you just got to keep in mind these videos take a little longer than usual. Now, to make it basic, what I do is, like I mentioned earlier, you have a audio soundtrack that is the voiceover. Then you have the another audio soundtrack, which is the musical side of it. And then you have a video side, that picture side, video clips, and other visual effects like transitions and things like that. Now, what you're looking at right now is you can see that these move files are actually like video clips, and I can double click that so I can show you what it looks like. While that's loading, right now I have a voiceover audio track right here that I'm going to play in a second, and this right here is the musical soundtrack right here. So here's a video clip that I'm going to include in this promotional video, and close that down. I'm going to load this so you can hear what it sounds like without the music.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the marketing information out there. Don't be. While there are many marketing roadmaps out there, how would you like to get traffic to your site today for free?
Okay, so second of all, you can see that these are soundtracks here. We've got the drums, bass, piano, and sax. Now, for you, most of you will have one soundtrack for a musical soundtrack. So what you do is, I'm going to go to the Adobe Premiere Elements so I can show you what it looks like when you combine everything together. Okay, so you'll notice that there is the audio soundtrack here. Basically, with Adobe Premiere Elements, you're going to see tracks. And when you start out, you're going to have a couple of tracks, audio tracks, and a couple of video tracks. Sort of like what I showed you earlier with the Camtasia. But Camtasia only has a limited amount of tracks. So the good thing about tracks is you can, for the audio one, I put the voiceover track here. For audio 2, I put the soundtrack, the musical soundtrack. And of course I have other layers too, because I have piano, I have bass and all that. But for you, you're likely only going to have one soundtrack for musical soundtrack, so you just want to put it below that. But you want to kind of listen to it and make sure that everything sounds good. And then you have video. Video 3 track is usually I use it for text. And then video 4, I use it for video clips and other pictures. As you can see, this is a video clip like what I showed you earlier, and this is a picture, and then we have that. Basically, with Adobe Premiere,
it's easy to get overlaps out there. How would you like to get Roadmap Success video series, the 7-part video series?
So as you can see here, I'm able to create the video, and this is what it sounds like.
Comments. Video 3, building links in traffic with Wiki. Video 7, product review sites.
And at the end of the video, you're going to have like a call to action, and as you can see here, and this is the call to action here.
To your site and to your business starting today.
So pretty much I've shown you the beginning and the ending of the promotional video. The beginning, you can incorporate whatever pictures, whatever video clips you want, and all you have to do is pretty much drag and drop it in here. So I've turned off the sound so I can actually talk through this so you can hear me. But as you can see here, with Adobe Premiere Elements, if you want to make these fancy swipes and fancy things, Basically, if you go under effects and transitions, as you can see here, you just pick and choose one that looks cool and you drag it and you drop it into here. That's sort of like you can see these little insertions here as they go by on the left side, what I'm pointing at right now. Those mark the actual video effects that I've dragged and dropped into here. And it's pretty easy to do with Adobe Premiere Elements. All you do is drag and drop and that's it. But you do need to remember that at the end of your video you need a call to action, sort of like a sales letter. You need to tell them what to do, and in all promotional videos you want to say something like grab this product now, you know, blah blah blah. So that's pretty much how to use Adobe Premiere Elements. It doesn't get as any easier than that. It's actually easier, I think, versus Camtasia Studio in my opinion, for those of you who are starting out. Do not get Adobe Premiere, get Adobe Premiere Elements. It has to have the word Elements on there. It's a lot cheaper and it's a lot easier and beginner friendly, if I can say.